People who sleep naked, when has it backfired? This happened when I was 12. I was in bed, sleeping, when I woke up. One of my dogs poked me with his nose, which means he either has to poop or barf, so even though I was settled in for the night, I got up, put on my bathrobe, and walked outside with both my dogs. I live in a canyon in the foothills, at the top of a hill. We get coyotes a lot, so going out with the dogs off the leash at night wasn't very bright. One of my dogs caught sight of a coyote at the bottom of the hill and took off after it. I have two dogs, one floppy, loving and dumb named Noodle, and one pointy, lean and a little aloof named Jax. Noodle is the one that took off after the coyote, but the pointy dog didn't really notice as he was busy doing his thing. I start to hear a bunch of snarling, and see multiple coyotes surrounding Noodle. I go back into the house and start screaming, "Coyotes got Noodle." In no more than 10 seconds, my dad is sprinting out the door butt naked with a 9mm in his hand, chasing after the Noodle. So I go running after him, down my driveway and into the road. As I go floundering past, robe blowing in the breeze like a majestic cape, Jax finally notices. He's lean, he's black, he's fast, and a mysterious mix of German Shepherd and something else that makes him look a lot like Anubis. Anyway, at this point the coyotes, there must be a half dozen of them, are all yipping and howling. Noodle has gone completely silent. I'm convinced they've nabbed her, even though she's bigger than most coyotes. So Jax takes off and soon is even ahead of my dad. I continued to witness perhaps the most ridiculous and badass thing I've ever seen. Jax makes first contact and absolutely decks one of the coyotes. He starts fighting like he's possessed. My dad quickly follows, and just starts blasting with his 9mm. In a matter of 30 seconds, all of the coyotes are either deceased or have taken off into the wilderness. I go and get Noodle, who is absolutely terrified, but is okay. I start comforting her and petting her, trying to get her to calm down. Jax and my dad are still on edge, making sure none of the coyotes come back. All of this noise had woken the neighbors, because I heard a window open and I saw our neighbor Todd peek his head out. He looked at the scene below and was just in shock. In hindsight, seeing my naked dad with his 9mm and Jax, standing in the middle of 3 dead coyotes must have been quite a shock. He calls out to my dad, "Dave, what in the world just happened?" My dad turns and yells back, "Coyotes got Noodle, but we got her back." "Sorry about the noise, Terry." "No problem, David, I would have done the same. Might have put some clothes on first though." It seemed at that moment was when my dad realized he was entirely naked. We immediately walked back to our house and went to sleep.